For years, architects have gotten away with their flawed vocation. Curved glass walls, gravity-defying cantilevers, the use of the word quirky, and an irrational, nonsensical self-admiration, despite all logic being oh, I'm really getting into this. Despite all logic being incoherently vacant from inside their colossal overpaid skulls! Hello, fellow engineers, and welcome to the game of my dream, Prison Architect. Yes, today we get to create a prison for architects. I'm not gonna lie, when I was suggested this game, I was quite surprised it existed. Turns out there are good people in the world, people that make games like this. Right, so it looks like here's all of our goods coming in. There's our engineers that are gonna save the day and build the prison for the architects. And there's a load of building materials and all sorts. Right, let's get to work and create our prison. What shape is that? 20 seconds into a video. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Anyway, right, so looking in the top left, we have our to-do list. We've got to read a letter, accept our first grant, and then we've got our first 8 architects arriving. 2 are in minimum security, 6 are in maximum security. Right, so here's the CEO. You can tell he used to be an engineer. A hard hat fits on his head perfectly. Dear sir, madam, congratulations on completing your basic induction, blah, 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 blah. That's about everything. Good luck. All right, so if we head to grants, so these are just bonus challenges, so we can select 2 of those, and we'll get some money once we complete them. Right, so we've got 21 hours until our first prisoners arrive. We've got to get building. Or do we? I've just noticed our cash flow is positive. So what if we were to... Right, it's the next day. Our group of engineers work through the night, getting everything ready. And here come our first prisoners. I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen here. Right, they're getting off the bus, and the bus is driving away. Right, who do we have? Right, this is James Moon. He's a 43 architect from Bolton. He was sentenced to 17 years for multiple crimes, including joyriding. That's riding on the joy of other people suffering. Death by dangerous driving. Now, those in the know that driving means building buildings inadequately. And perjury, which means he lied about it. Yep. He would not admit anything. Anyway, he got 17 years for his crimes. He's already served 2.3. We've also got Alex Saylor of Gumber Architects Limited. After a failed career as a trained weasel handler, Gumber turned to a life of architecture, using his army of weasels in a spree of jewelry heists. Yes, it makes sense. He served 1 year out of his 14 years. Scott Henderson was an architect. Warren Nightingale, Gareth Smith, Ian Levers, and Simon McInachy, all part of an architecture gang that designed this monstrosity. And they'll be doing their time here. Oh god, I don't really know what's going on here. They appear to be emitting fluorine gas. I think we're just showing the inner workings of an architect's rotten body. But anyway, I think they're getting too much of a reward hanging about with the engineers. So we're going to go ahead and start building some rooms of our prison. So we'll start off with a holding cell. All right, so our engineers are slowly building our foundations. We've got to put a wall around the edge, and we've bung a door down as well. Right, I love that our prisoners are now asking, where's the damn prison? We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I've built a door. I'm just trying to learn how to do this. But thankfully, whilst I've been doing that, the money has been rolling in. We're now making 13 grand a day. But unfortunately, our prisoners have spilled onto the road. And there's a big truck coming. Oh god, get out the road! Get out the road! Anyway, it turns out they're fine. Right, time to build an actual prison and not just a door. We're going to start down here, walls and doors. I'm going to build a bamboo fence all the way around our land. Now you can see our engineers slowly working their way up. They appear to be sat on the fence as they build it. Okay, so as our architects enter the prison, we're going to want to give them a floor. So we're going to put a flowery field down. And we're going to create a bit of a hedge maze just to keep our architects entertained. Alright, so this is our classic entrance to a prison. This then leads to a yard. And then from there we need a holding cell, because you can't just have people waiting in the road. It's dangerous. So we'll build some foundations and have a bamboo door from our yard. And the engineers are just installing light bulbs. And you can see them easily making it through the maze. However, from this electric symbol, you can see we've got no power. So before we can make this a usable building, we've got to build somewhere to create power. And oh my goodness, they've bled on my maze. Damn you, Cowl. I think they might be dying because they're not getting food. If we look over here, you can see, I think these icons, they represent each prisoner. And the prisoner to meal ratio isn't ideal, but neither are cantilevered balconies. So we'll get their food a bit later on. We've got to sort our power situation out. We need some doors for these new buildings as well. So as this is going to be a power station, we don't want our prisoners going in there. Staff only, so we're going to use a secret door. The architects will think they're just a bookshelf. We all know architects do not read. All right, so in there we'll go our power station, and in this one, our water pumps. All right, so if I try and turn this on, switch on. See, it lights up for a second, and then it goes off. Overloaded, remove electrical items or add capacitors. Well, the only electrical item is this water pump, and I guess all the light bulbs. So we're going to add capacitors. Now, hopefully, if we switch this on, it stays on. Lovely. People still asking where the prison is. I'm getting there, guys. I'm literally getting there. Give me a second. Architects are so bloody demanding, aren't they? Right, so in our new building, we need a holding cell. These need to be fully enclosed, include a toilet and a bench. So we'll build some walls and a toilet. And realize we've locked those engineers in. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Give me a sec. And then we've got a row of toilets opposite a bench. I've just noticed we have a lot of deaths today. 28 deaths. Not ideal. I think a truck... Oh, yeah. I think this ambulance came down and ran over a few people. But it won't be long till we're all inside and we're away from the dangers of the road. Right, so our toilets are not plumbed in. So we've got to go to utilities and do some drainage. I know all about drainage. Straight lines to the toilets. And our engineers will build those. And we should all be good. It's also pitch black in our holding cell, so I imagine we probably need to do some electrical wiring just to get some electricity in there. All right, sorted. I feel our holding cell, it's a bit nasty look. It's a bit boring. So we're going to upgrade the floor, and I think that's much better. All right, so now we need a canteen. We've got to feed these people as well. Bloody hell. Architects are so demanding. Right, okay. We'll build a canteen. I'm guessing we're going to need a kitchen as well. So we'll put that there. And then we'll just add some walls, a couple of doors, and then what else do we need? We need a cooker, a fridge, and a sink. All right, so we've got a cooker, fridge right next to it. And we'll put a few more cookers and fridges and stuff in. We'll plumb them in, connect them all up, sort out the floor. And our canteen needs some tables and benches. So we'll put a small table there, a bench that's far too big for it. And we need some serving tables so people can help themselves to food. All right, meanwhile, our donut of death is not looking good. Thankfully, the ambulance is here to save the day. But I'm not too concerned because money is flying. 18 grand a day. Right, so we've got top of the range kitchen. All these ingredients just waiting to be eaten. Time to hire some staff. So we'll come down to staff and we will add 2 cooks. And they will get started right away. Meanwhile, I feel like we need to link these areas. And what better way to do that than with a sandy floor? Ah, much better. And the sun is setting. We're 2 weeks in. And our prisoners are yet to try and work out the maze. I'm sure they'll get there eventually. Right, so we're going to prep 4 similar sized buildings over here. Put a door into each. And I think we'll hire some more workmen because things are taking some time. So we can just plop these down anywhere. So there you go. More workmen. Go work away, people. We must outnumber the architects. Right, so despite me building 4 toilets, they're still very much unused. People seem happy enough just going out here. And if you listen, that is the sound of people doing the deed. Happy to do it just out in here, the dirty architect scum. I've just noticed as well, we've got Luigi here. A very shifty looking Luigi. I never knew you were an architect. Now our engineers are completely surrounded at the moment. So I think these architects, they need a bit of direction sort of to get them moving. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to staff and we're going to hire a couple of guards. So we'll put them in the middle just to break up this fight before it gets too nasty. And now they're slowly taking people to the holding cells. And they can eat finally. So Dylan and Locke here are eating away and they've just left their trays. Dirty bastards. Alright, so that should slow the deaths down a bit. So we still need to build a shower, and we've got 149 families waiting to visit. I feel like this is the perfect time to be very efficient in our design. Right, so this is our visitor booth. You can see the visitors sit in the middle, and the prisoners go around the outside. You might be wondering, why has this got a white tiled floor? This is actually a multifunctional room. We've got showers all around the edge. So as people are seeing their visitors, they can get clean. Now, whilst I've been focused on my state-of-the-art visitation centre, I kind of let the rest of my prison go into disrepair. My holding cell was a bit overcrowded. There were injured people everywhere. Somehow pornography had made its way into my prison, and the amount of bacon being wasted was an absolute disgrace. So I quickly built 2 offices, with a lot of legroom between the chair and the desk, an easy-to-access filing cabinet, and of course they were split by a line of chess tables. Now with the offices complete, I could go down to staff, and I could hire a warden, which I shall put in here. The main concern of the warden was we're not equipped to deal with a fire, but I'll get to that. I will get to that, Mr. Warden. Now, the warden allowed me to hire all sorts of people, the most expensive being this legal representative. But to be honest, I think he's just overcharging. I'm going to go with this guy, the maintenance. He's only 500, but he wears a hard hat, so you know he can be trusted. I also built a fancy staff room with its very own casting couch and decided to give the officers a nice wooden floor. I was getting a little bit concerned for my architects. They seem to be complaining about lack of sleep and lack of... I don't even know what that is. Is that meant to be a poo? So I decided to be a nice guy and build them individual rooms. Now, thankfully, there's a quick build option in this game, so I can go down here and we can build all types of cells. Basic, improved. We'll be going for a mix. So we'll start with a shared, then we'll also add a few luxury cells and some improved cells. So whilst my builders were building that, I decided we needed a better floor for this. We couldn't just have outside mud. I wanted a proper homely nightly feel, so my prisoners could easily drift to sleep every night. So I spent 50 grand on this lunar surface. And unfortunately, the architects didn't take it well. They started rioting. Now, it wasn't good. Turns out someone had burnt the bacon, and the architects were not happy. The holding cell was flooding, the floor of the canteen was covered in blood, so it was time to hire some guards and get this back under control. Oh god, and I properly broke them. What are they doing? Oh no, they're getting injured. Right, we need more guards, we need more guards. And as these are architects, we need more engineers as well. We need our lead engineer in the blue hat, and a few more peasant engineers to outnumber. Unfortunately, it seemed a lot of my new guards had died, or were lost in the maze, but slowly they're getting it under control, and they shipped off the rioters to a quiet alleyway where they could get beaten unconscious. Nice. There was also a streaker. Dylan, put your pants on. There you go. He got knocked unconscious and quickly clothed. Okay, so I found a guard here who's literally stuck in the maze. Like, literally in the maze. He can't move. So I might have to hire a few more just to cover for people like him. Meanwhile, the foreman was enjoying his new office. He had bled on the floor a bit, but things were going well. The number of rioters were dropping, and finally all was back under control. There's so much blood here. So much. This is horrible. This guy's literally passed out in the doorway and it keeps closing on his head. Douche. Oh man. I wonder what the visitors think as they come in. So imagine you're a visitor. You arrive on the road. You're like, oh god, there's a circle of dead bodies. You then have to pass through this well-maintained hedge maze. Gently step over the dead prisoners and guards along the hallway of blood and injured bodies and to the visitor center, which does look like it needs a bit of a clean. It looks like the door won that battle as well. That guy's now just splurged all over that wall. Things were looking up though. We're on 0 deaths. Fortunately, they didn't take too kindly and a riot broke out again. I was getting slightly concerned about my prisoners' health. The donut of death just wasn't what it used to be. Some of the dead ends of my maze were a bit too literal. And the trouble was my lunar nighttime experience wasn't going well. We'd stupidly allowed guests before the builders had even finished, and there were severe consequences to that. So what better way to improve people's health than build the world's largest gymnasium? But I ran out of money to afford weights, so you're gonna have to share, guys. I also decided to add a running track. You can see these people, they're actually using it. But yes, our prison now has a running track. People have no excuse not to keep healthy now. Now with our lunar experience, we've got all the sort of shared dorms all the way up. And the improved and posh ones are up the top. I didn't want people rushing up here, so I felt like it might be an idea to split this up, using something to make the architects feel a bit more at home. An Art Deco wall. Now the warden was right, he kept bugging me about the old fire risk, so I decided to purchase 2 fire engines, which are up here should we need them. And our Art Deco wall is complete, however it's really bugging me, so I'm going to cover it with a dragon. Ah, much better. Oh god, it's really long. So in another meeting with the warden and the foreman, we got together and we decided it was time to treat the architects. Time to give them a common room with pool tables, a luxury floor, but keep it green, keep it sustainable. So we built them the ultimate green room, complete with snooker table lawn, overgrown walls, and a bamboo door. Unfortunately, we can't finish it because the deaths are insane, and there's another riot underway, so let's go sort that out. Although we've got 45 prison guards, pretty sure they're all unconscious in this hallway. So I thought this is the perfect time to test our firemen out. Oh, look! The hose follows him. He's going to leave a trail so that people know how to find their way through the maze. Oh, a bit of a shortcut there. Cheating. Cheating. Right, so apparently I can use H. Oh, get back. Get back. I can spray the water cannon in there. Try and calm them down a bit. I wonder, actually, could he come and give my visitor center a bit of a clean? How long is this hose? I usually don't ask people that on their first day of their job. But, and as this looks like a big job, we'll bring them all in. Look at the hoses. Alright, you ready, guys? This is Operation Deep Cleanse. That's it. Give it a wash. Give it a wash. Hose-nado! No, there's not a Hose-nado t-shirt coming soon. Okay, so as they walk back on their hose, it does ravel back up. That's cool. Right? And there we have it. There is our prison for architects. And I think this one's gone too far. This one's gone way too far. The fact that it's just constant rioting just goes to show engineers and architects do not get on. But I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Thanks for joining. Peace, love, and childish humor. Bye.